Why America and Iran have been rivals for decades. The latest Syrian escalation. Why the Strait of Hormuz matters. Trump's strategy. Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that oil prices have exploded overnight. Stock markets across the world are crashing. Commercial airlines are canceling flights. Military forces are moving across the Middle East. And world leaders are holding emergency meetings. The reason? A dangerous confrontation between the United States and Iran. For decades, these two countries have stood on opposite sides of almost every major crisis in the Middle East. But today, the tension has reached a new level. Military strikes, political threats, naval deployments, and growing fears that one single mistake could ignite a much larger regional conflict. The question is no longer whether tensions exist. The question is, how far could this confrontation go? Could it remain limited? Or could it become the next global crisis? Welcome to Geopol AI. Today we uncovered the real story behind the latest Iran escalation, why the world is paying close attention, and what could happen next. Chapter 1. Why America and Iran have been rivals for decades. To understand today's crisis, we must first understand history. The rivalry between Washington and Tehran did not begin yesterday. It stretches back for decades. For years, the United States and Iran have disagreed over regional influence, military presence, nuclear development, economic sanctions, and political alliances. Every American administration has faced the Iran question. Some attempted diplomacy, others increased sanctions. Some used military pressure, while Iran continued expanding its influence across the Middle East through regional partnerships and strategic alliances. Over time, this relationship transformed from political disagreement into one of the world's longest geopolitical rivalries. Today, every new incident carries the risk of creating something much larger. And that is exactly why recent developments have attracted global attention. Chapter 2. The latest Syrian escalation. For months, the Middle East has remained under enormous pressure, but recent events have pushed the region into one of its most dangerous moments in years. The United States has increased its military presence across the Gulf. Additional naval forces have been deployed. Air defense systems have been reinforced. American officials say these measures are designed to protect U.S. personnel, allies, and international shipping routes. Iran, however, views these actions very differently. Tehran argues that increasing American military activity near its borders threatens regional stability. Iranian officials have repeatedly warned that they will respond if they believe their national security is under direct threat. As both sides continue exchanging warnings, military analysts are becoming increasingly concerned because history has shown that geopolitical crises do not always begin with a declaration of war. Sometimes they begin with a misunderstanding, a naval incident, an airspace violation, or a single military strike that quickly triggers retaliation. And that possibility is exactly what worries governments around the world today. Chapter 3. Why the Strait of Hormuz matters. If there is one location that could immediately affect the entire global economy, it is the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway connects the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea. Every single day, a massive portion of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas passes through this tiny corridor. Energy exports from countries such as Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, Iraq, and Iran all depend heavily on this route. If shipping through Hormuz is disrupted, the consequences would not remain inside the Middle East. Oil prices could rise dramatically. Fuel costs would increase. Shipping insurance will become more expensive. Inflation could accelerate. and global financial markets could experience severe volatility. That is why military planners from the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and many other countries continuously monitor this region because protecting freedom of navigation is considered essential for global economic stability. Chapter 4. Trump's Strategy. President Donald Trump has consistently argued that peace is maintained through strength. His administration believes that demonstrating military capability can discourage potential adversaries from taking aggressive action. Supporters describe this strategy as deterrence. The idea is simple. Show enough military power so that your opponent decides not to escalate. Critics, however, warn that this approach also carries risks. When both sides increase military deployments, the possibility of accidental confrontation also increases. One unexpected event, one miscalculation, could trigger reactions that neither side originally intended. And this is why today's situation remains so sensitive. Neither Washington nor Tehran publicly says it wants a full-scale war, yet both continue preparing for the possibility that tensions could suddenly intensify. That uncertainty is what makes this crisis so dangerous.